friends, welcome back to another Let's Finish What We Started process video. Today we are continuing to add some pages into Mabel's baby album. We have a story to put together for her 5-month section, and then the rest of these stories and stats pages are all for 6 months. So we are almost halfway through this album, and that is both amazing and crazy all at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and put you on fast forward while I work through all 4 of my layouts today. Once I have these done, we'll slow back down. I'll flip through everything we have created. And I'm also, this one's going to be one of the last stories that will go inside of volume 1, assuming I can fit it in there. I might have to juggle some things around if I do 3 volumes. We'll see that a little bit later. And then these stories are going to go inside of volume number 2. So really excited to get into both of those. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead, dive into these stories and get some layouts done. All right, so jumping into our first layout here, this is one that was inspired by the Love, Love, Love acrylic piece or acrylic title that came from Colorcast Designs sometime back in 2021. I can't remember which month release that was, if that was a January or a February leading up to Valentine's Day or what, but it did seem totally perfect for documenting a story about Valentine's Day. So knowing that Caitlin and Alex had dressed up May in a special Valentine's outfit and did a little photo shoot with her, I asked Caitlin to send me a couple of her favorite pictures from that photo shoot. And I chose one of them, blew it up to a 6x8 sized photo, and then I'm going to create a flip out with the photo. So the holographic portion of paper there that you see is going to be just a cover area where I can add some decoration. I've also got a piece of black and white paper where it's a white background with these little tiny black hearts. That was from the Heart collection or the Heart quarterly scrapbooking kit from Ali Edwards last year, I believe, as well. So I'm using the Heart paper, cutting that down so that it has a bit of the holographic paper around the outside edge, and then I'm going to use some embellishments on top of that just to give this page a little bit of decoration. Now to create the flip out, I went ahead and trimmed down a piece of just regular old copy paper to about 1.5 inches in width by the 8.5 inches tall, and then I'm just going to trim it off once I get the 2 pieces adhered together. I added my adhesive to the inside of the fold. So after I trimmed the paper out, I then folded it in half long ways. So that way I could add adhesive to both sides, and then one side would go on the back side of the larger photo portion, and then the other side would go on the back of the smaller photo portion. In order to get things lined up just right, I do lay the photos right on top of each other and then pull down the hinge portion to attach it all together. So with that part done, next I'm moving on to creating my decorative page. I took 2 of those plastic transparency hearts. Those were also from the quarterly scrapbooking kit with the heart shapes. I stapled those on with my tiny attacher, and then after I stapled them onto the black mini heart paper, I then went ahead and adhered that down onto the holographic paper, and then I'm going to adhere the holographic paper down on top of the smaller portion of the photo that folds over. So now when you are looking at this page, you're going to see the decorative page, and then you can flip it open to see the full photo revealed underneath. The card that I used there says the details. That was from, I believe, the Stories by the Year kit from Ali Edwards, which was part of the Storytelling Basics collection. I used that to type out 10 things about Valentine's Day, or 10 things that Caitlin and Alex loved about May. That's kind of a typical story theme that I would return to, if not every month, every couple of months, because as May was growing and changing and developing, the things that are really pertinent that you can tell that, I love these things about you, those also change and evolve. It doesn't mean that the other things are no longer things we love about them. Just there's a lot more to love the more time that we spend with them. To finish this page off, I wanted to add a little bit of embellishment onto the photo. It just felt kind of naked, not having anything on there. So I grabbed a couple of puffy stickers from an older Feed Your Craft puffy sticker set, added a red one and a pink one, and then put a pink tiny phrase sticker on top of that. Moving on, we're going to work on the transparency and opening page for month number 6. I'm starting out with the monthly photo there, same as I have for all of the other months before. I hole punched this one, and then I'm going to also add my little tab stickers to the top of the transparency. We'll stick everything back into the album so I can make sure that the transparency is lined up correctly on top of the photo, using that to know exactly where to position my number 6. These numbers here do have the plastic coating on top, so I made sure to remove that before stapling it down on the transparency. I kept knocking it with my tiny attacher there, and having to readjust myself. And then since this was technically the month of March, I grabbed over these green March themed tiny phrase stickers. I'm picking 2 of them. One says you and me, and the other one says time marches on. And I put a green chipboard star sticker above that just to finish it up. The 6-month stats were not ones that Caitlin had ready for me. I think there were a couple of months that she missed, so I just skipped over that. It's okay. We're going to include what we have and not worry too much about what we don't. But there will be a couple of months coming up where you'll see the stats return again. The next story I have here was inspired by a ColorCast Design acrylic piece that you can see up at the top. It has a cursive word that says loving, and then there's also this really pretty rainbow where the pieces are all separate, so you would adhere them down separately into the rainbow shape. I thought it would be really fun to pair that with a chipboard piece I had in my stash that says, love the way you play. And so then this story became a story of how May is playing, or how she was engaging in play at the age of 6 months. I selected a couple of photos that Caitlin had sent me of May playing, and I created just a simple little collage there, almost like a photo strip. But I wanted to put this down on some color so I could bring those rainbow colors over to the right side of the page as well. So I trimmed down a piece of pattern paper from the Rainbow Quarterly Scrapbooking Kit. The paper originally I had sized so it would go outside of a page protector, but then remembered that the next layout I have to work with is going to go inside of the page protector. So I trimmed it down to the 3 inches by 8 inches. And then I also have a piece of vellum that is the same 3 inches by 8 inches that I layered right on top. And that's just to help mute the colors down just a tad so that they fade into the background instead of clashing with all the photos inside of the strip of photos. I wanted the attention to be on the actual photos of May playing with her toys. So all of that is adhered down one on top of the other. So there's the photo strip, and then the vellum, and then the pattern paper underneath that. And that's just going to slip inside of a 3x8 page protector. For the left side of this, I went ahead and hole punched the journaling, and then I'm just using some regular old roller adhesive to get these pieces attached. First, I added on the title Loving, just positioning it just so that the title wouldn't interfere with the holes and the rings that are going to go inside of the holes. So I will actually push it up just a little bit because I felt like it could go a little bit closer to the rainbow there at the top. I also added on the rainbow, and then I also put the chipboard piece as a subtitle underneath the word loving. It fits in there quite perfectly. So I'm going to readjust this here, and then once I have that on there, we'll pull the album back over so I can stick the pages back to back. This one's going on the back side of the previous page, so I'm just adding the adhesive there so I can stick them in the album. I'm doing this as I'm going through all of these pages so that when we get to the end, the last couple of layouts, the whole album will just be done and ready to go. I won't have to go back in and adhere those pages back to back. All right, so we're going to stick this one down in, and then we're going to move on to our fourth and final layout for this process video. This layout here is all about their morning routine. So Caitlin, Alex, and May's morning routine at this time in their life. I am using an older kit from Feed Your Craft. This was one that was almost kind of day in the life themed. So there were cards for the morning, cards for the evening, ones that were like AM and PM and suns and moons and all that kind of stuff. So I pulled aside a couple of the pieces that were about the morning so that we could do some journaling about the morning routine. The card actually that says morning routine, it's yellow there on the table. I put an extra photo inside of that. It's a photo of Caitlin brushing her teeth and like sticking her head out to check on May. And then I have a second photo that's more the feature photo for this particular story that is Caitlin and May cuddling in bed. I also super loved the card that I'm working on here that had this upside down looking rainbow on it. I decided to trim off a large portion of the white, and I'm going to turn that into a flip up that's going to go on top of the photo. So we're going to piece together this element, this flip up journaling photo element that's going to go in the 3x8 pocket. So first thing I needed to do was take my journaling, fold it in half. I added adhesive to both halves, the back side of it, and then I'm going to stick one half of it down on the rainbow portion that I had trimmed out there. Then I realized I'm going to need something to stick this down on top of because my journaling is not 3 inches wide. It's more like 2.875, something along those lines. So I went back in my stash and found this pattern card also from Feed Your Craft, but I have no idea what kit that one came from. It was just one in my stash. I added that to the top of the photo there. So now between the photo and the pattern card, we are a full 8 inches tall. The pattern card gives me a place to stick down the rest of my journaling. So I'm just going to put that directly down on top, and then that top portion will flip up to reveal the journaling underneath. On top of the flip up, I currently have a die cut piece that was a sun or a half of a sun with the rays coming out of it. It's in a wonky type of circle. And then I have a couple of these stickers. This one says Rise and Shine, that I'm thinking of layering on there, and then decide, you know what, I'm just going to stick it on top of the half sun and make it into a full circle there. And that's kind of cool and has a little bit of a retro feel, I suppose. And then the other two stickers, one says AM. I stuck that on top of the second photo there. And the third one I put down on the journaling. The journaling just runs through the routine that they go through every day. So it's just step by step what the mornings looked like for Caitlin and May and Alex. Then when I went to put this into the pocket, I realized that the card is not going to reach the very bottom because of the flip up. There's a little portion that's still showing underneath the photo. I could have left it as is with just the white background, but I decided to actually take it out the page before, which is this photo collage page, and to add a little bit of this yellow grid washi to the bottom. So then when you layer the pages on top of each other, you'll be able to see the yellow grid at the bottom of the paper or at the bottom of the photo, which is just going to bring in a little bit more of that yellow color into this layout. And it makes it look as though the card or the element in that 3x8 pocket reaches the bottom, even though it technically does not. So then we'll stick those their cards into their divided page, and to complete the 6-month section here, I'm just adding in some pattern paper that I cut into the 3x4 squares so that it would fit on the back side of the divided pocket, and then we're going to call our layouts done. All right, friends, that completes my 4 layouts for today. So the first one here was the 5-month story from Valentine's Day with a picture of May licking the whisk there. So this little flip out portion. And that just went back to back with this layout here that I already had done in the album from earlier last year. And then the pattern paper to end month number 5. Now this feels a little chunky, like it might eventually warp some of these pages. So I'm thinking I might take month 5, which would be from this section on. I might take all of these layouts and put them into volume 2 and then just have this go 3 volumes big, which that's okay. That's okay with me. But for now, we're just going to keep it in here until I'm ready to pull out another one of these albums. So that completes the first book of stories. Then we've got the 6-month here. We did the divider, the page where May is wearing her 6-month onesie. The story here about the ways that May was playing at 6 months old, and then this layout here that talks about their morning routine and what that looked like at this stage in May's life. I've got the heart pattern here as the exit for month number 6, and then next week we're going to come back and start working on month number 7. I do currently have one layout, one story already done. It is missing some journaling here, so I just need to get that from my brother-in-law in order to finish this one up, but I might do that at a later point in time. And then I have at least one more story to put in here, and then I also have the 7-month stats. So we're going to work on that next week, probably starting into month number 8 as well. All right, friends, I hope you enjoyed seeing these layouts come together today, and I hope this inspires you to pull out some of your older projects and finish what you have started as well. Until next time, friends, have a great rest of your week, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye now.